So, simulan na natin itong China online attacks. Pero, ito EL ako gusto kong i-take advantage natin yung fact na tayong dalawa kahit paano, meron tayong konting background
Correct.
dito. So, simulan natin doon. Ano ba talaga ang pinagmumulan nitong alitan na patuloy sa pagitan natin at ng China dito sa West Philippine Sea?
Yung naalala ko nung nasa gobyerno tayo, there was one incident na normally kasi pag may Chinese intrusion mga fishing boats, ang nag-apprehend sa mga yan, ang tawag natin white vessel, mga Coast Guard.
Oh, tama.
Sila talaga nanguhuli.
As opposed sa gray vessel
As
na
opposed-
Navy.
Na Navy.
Oo.
Unfortunately, at that point, ang malapit na vessel was a gray vessel, which is a Navy vessel. And they were apprehended. That was, nag-umpisa yung galit ng China. Biglang they were so vocal, doon na nag-umpisa. I remember, and I may be wrong, pero naalala ko yun ang pinag-usapan. In fact, nag-ilang meeting kami sa palasyo. The Navy were there, the Coast Guard were there, and explained why did we use a gray vessel instead of a white vessel. So that was the explanation that the closest vessel was a gray vessel.
Pero para malinaw, nangyari to sa EEZ natin, di ba?
Sa atin.
Pasok to.
Sa atin, oo.
At sa ilalim ng international law, UNCLOS, kapag EEZ ng isang bansa tulad nito, tayo may exclusive rights
Correct.
na mangisda doon at gamitin yung mga resources.
Yung mga may institutional memory, mga dating nasa Navy, dating mga Coast Guard, I remember may kwento sa amin, sa Palawan, maraming Chinese fishing boats na sa may Palawan, hinuhuli. Ang style lang naman dyan, hunuhuliin ka, tapos ibabalik ka naman eh. Parang,
So, catch and release ba?
kasi release kumbaga, pag-uusapan ng dalawang countries, sa
Okay.
Chinese embassy will negotiate. And then they will release naman.
Okay.
Pero this one was a bit different. Parang medyo nagalit ang China. Then nangyari na yung sa Scarborough Shoal.
Okay.
And by the way, the reason why biglang naging vociferous ang medyo vocal, kasi may claim ang China tinatawag nating 9-dash line.
Okay.
Baka pwede natin pakita sa yung ating 9-dash line na map, no?
Meron na tayo
Ayan,
mga
may
galing,
map kami.
Meron tayo mga graphic.
Maraming salamat sa inyong nagpa-patronize sa amin. Kung nakita po ninyo yung sa mapang yan, you will see red lines. Yan yung tinatawag nilang 9-dash line claim ng China. Walang coordinates yan, walang longitude, walang latitude. Very, very arbitrary claim. Ang nag-umpisa ng claim na yan was sometime in 1947. The People's... tawag doon yung Kuomintang Party yun eh. Sila, Republic of China, kung nasa Taiwan yun, they were then governing China. Ang kiname na, ang original yan, hindi 9. 11 dash line yan.
Di ba ngayon, 10 dash line ngayon na sinasabi nila?
Umakyat na ba ng 10?
10 dash line.
So anyway, nung pumasok mga People's Republic of China, the Communist Party, ginamit nila yung claim na yun sometime in the 1950s at sinabing 9 dash line. If you see the red lines, it practically encompasses or comprises 80 to 90% of the South China Sea.
Actually,
Kasama doon ang Scarborough Shoal, which is our Bajo de Masinloc, nasa loob yan. So talagang may in contradiction to the law of the sea.
na 200 nautical miles dapat from our shores
Correct.
sa atin. At saka kung papansinin mo, hindi lang tayo apektado.
Lahat.
Vietnam, yung
Malaysia.
kanilang East Sea,
Right.
di ba? Meron ding 200 dapat na binibilang doon sa Clau. Tama,
Yes.
Malaysia, di ba? Yung papapa north naman from them. So tatama.
Kaya yan yung origin ng claim ng China, no? But it has no legal basis. In fact, it is not even recognized by the international community. So sila lang ang arbitrary claim lang nila yan. First time nila nilabas yung claim nila sometime in the 1990 yata, they presented to the United Nations kasi may away sa Vietnam, Malaysia on the continental shelf eh. So doon nag-umpisa kinlaim ng China, this is our 9-dash line.
Tsaka, para lang dagdagan yung sinasabi mo na China lang talaga ang nag-a-assert nito. Narinig ko si Justice Tony Carpio na nagsasalita the other day. Ang sinasabi niya, sa buong mundo, no other nation acknowledges yung legitimacy nitong 9-dash line na ito. Kasi even under international law, yung UNCLOS, na actually signatory ang China,
Correct.
ang limit mo lang talaga yung 200 nautical miles. Ito, lagpas-lagpas eh. Buong dagat eh.
Naalala ko yung kwento nila was, kiniklaim nila part of our, sa Philippines, kasi yung kiniklaim na yung mga, what do you call that, yung mga naval navigators, parang sila Magellan, Chinese version.
Tama.
Kiniklaim nila by historic right, nandun na kami. Kaya we already had trade with them. So that is ours.
Pero ang isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit hindi tinatanggap to ng any other nation, binabaliktad niya yung legal basis para claims over oceans.
Right.
Kasi under UNCLOS, at ito, sorry historical, di ba? Si Grotius ang nagsimula niyan,
Oh.
di ba? Law of the Sea. Ang pinagsisimulan ng control overseas ay lupa.
Right.
No one owns waters, pero if you have sovereignty over lands, pwede ka mag-extend over yung mga adjoining na mga dagat. So, ang pinagsisimulan, lupa. Para makontrol mo yung
So
seas.
yung lupa, and then that you'll extend the 200
Yes.
nautical miles.
Ito, baliktad. Sinasabi nila na yan dagat na yan, amin.
Regardless.
Regardless of ano yung distance niyan dun sa aming land territory. Kaya, hindi ka takataka kung bakit hindi tinatanggap ng anybody else.
Correct.
Kasi, hindi yan yung hindi yan yung sinusunod ng every other country in the world. At yan na yung sinusunod ng batas for the better part of 300 years siguro.
The reason why this is a very important it has global importance because 30% of the global trade passes through the South China Sea. So, malaki yan. Pangalawa, I think, Barry, you would know this more kasi environmental. It has the richest eco-something in mga fishing.
In terms, hindi lang fish, pati coral, marine
yes.
life.
It's
Tama.
one of the in fact, the richest Kaya talagang, ngayon dinidestroy ng mga Chinese yung mga coral reefs
In fact, di ba, nag-file tayo ng
Several times. diba?
ng complaint tungkol nga dyan.
Correct. So, it has strategic importance not only in trade, but also in the environment. So, talaga, it's very important. And also, that's the reason why the Americans are very concerned because of the global trade. Talagang they are very protective of this area. They want to ensure freedom of navigation.
Pero, why the very, very aggressive insistence ng China na makontrol nila yung area na yan? Ano yung strategic value para sa kanila?
If you look at, can you do the next map of the inverted China? Ang tingin natin, ganito ang tingin natin ng mapa.
Talaga.
Ibaliktad mo yung mapa. Ganito ang tingin ng mga Chinese sa
So,
kanila.
yun, nasa baba dyan yan ng China.
Yan yung China.
Okay.
Tingnan nyo, pinapaligiran sila. On the left side, si Japan. Yung nasa kaliwa, nasa Japan. Yung Pilipinas, naroon. Yung Taiwan, nandyan sa malapit sa China, sa ulo ng Pilipinas, sa Batanes. Dito na sa kaliwa, sa kanan ng Pilipinas, yan na yung mga ibang bansa. No?
Vietnam. Tsaka
Vietnam. Ang tingin nila, they are being surrounded. Kaya, for them, parang they are being stifled by, these are all Western allies That's why for them, it's a threat. That's why we have to make sure that we have our own, may protection tayo. That's why they're claiming, part of their claim is really yung 9-9, amin yan. And yan, nakakadaan. Because pag lumampas ka ng South China Sea, diretso ka sa Strait of Malacca, yun na yan, palabas ka na So, very, very important to China kasi they're mahina sila sa resources, wala silang oil. They're an industrial country. They want to avoid the same problem that Japan had in World War II.
That they can be isolated and cut off.
And cut
sa
off.
sea lanes.
Yes. That's why, yan yung katwiran, bakit very, very paranoid ang China na baka mangyari sa atin. We have to protect our resources. In that sense, you would see the long forward-looking ang Chinese So, they've learned from experience. And by the way, the Chinese are known to be, ang tawag sa kanila mahaba yung they think in centuries, not in years. They think in decades and centuries. And that's one of the reasons why they're very, very protective of their security.
Okay.
And right now, they are I think the biggest naval power in terms of number of ships. Mas marami sila kaysa sa US. Pero, that doesn't mean na mas superior sila. So, they have fewer nuclear submarines. They have more diesel submarines. Unlike the US, practically all of their submarines or meron pang mga nuclear, and their aircraft carriers are all nuclear. Wala silang, I think they only have an aircraft carrier, one aircraft carrier or 2 aircraft carriers. So, talagang there's a battle to attain naval superiority. So anyway, that's where we are. Kaya bakit galit sa Pilipinas? Kasi maingay tayo.
Hindi. Tas, of course, you have the 2016 arbitral ruling. Yung sinampan nung panahon ni
O yun nga pala. So, ang kwento doon sa arbitral ruling, so we can bring down the map na. So, ang kwento doon sa arbitral ruling, So, medyo nagkakagulo. By the way, nung pumasok ang China sa Scarborough Shoal, nandun din tayo. So, ang suggestion ng US at that time, if we recall, was they mediated, sabi, both of you, why don't you withdraw from Scarborough Shoal? I remember we were going to Indonesia. So, it was, they were waiting for the approval of the president, si Pinoy, kung kailan. Sabi niya, okay, we trust you, we trust your your mediation, una tayong umatras.
Okay.
And hindi na umatras ang China.
Kaya hanggang ngayon,
Eventually, umatras din yata. Pero hanggang ngayon, nandun na sila.
ito yung Baho de Masinloc. Di ba?
Baho the Masinloc.
At ang balita, hinarangan nila yung entry to the shoal itself.
Correct. So, talagang, wala na. Talagang nasa warpath na sila. I mean, the way they talk, the way they act, talagang in disregard to the international community global order So, yan yung, because of that na, what we did as the Philippines, because we do not have arms, we don't have power, ammunition, military power, we decided to do the diplomatic route. We got the support of the international community.
Yes.
At the same time, we decided to file a case in ang tawag doon sa court nila?
Arbitral tribunal.
Arbitral tribunal, which was the idea of Justice Carpio.
Okay.
Justice Carpio allegedly told Secretary of si DFA Secretary Albert De Rosario
Okay, si ADR
and
pa to.
brought it up to the palace, to the president. In fact, we had a meeting, ito full cabinet. We rarely have full cabinet meetings, budget lang at saka NEDA approval. Nagkaroon kami ng full cabinet meeting. We invited JPE, Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, to be there to discuss with us. I think I'm not sure if Estelito Mendoza was also there. Because we asked the old hands, mga may institutional memory. And nagbigay sila ng opinion din. They were in support. And eventually, that's why nag-file na ng ano. But there were attempts, wag na tayo mag-file. In fact, the Chinese were trying to dissuade us from doing that.
Okay.
So. But eventually, the president being the president, alam mo naman pag si Pinoy, pag nag-decide na, tuloy-tuloy na yan. So, we decided to file a case and I think mas nafa-follow up mo yan, na natuloy na yung case. One thing good that which showed the support of the whole of government was the 3 branches of government went to The Hague.
Yeah.
And you know whose idea was that? That was the idea of Undersecretary Abigail Valte.
Wow.
He told the ES, let's go there to show the support of the whole government. Kaya pumayag the president agreed with that. So on the part of the Senate, I think si Speaker Belmonte.
Yeah.
I don't know if FMD ba nun?
Hindi, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure na kung sino Senate President.
Si FMD ang Senate President, but I'm not sure if...
I'm not sure kung nakapunta siya, but I certainly remember Speaker Belmonte was there. I don't know who's the Chief Justice that time Aba si Tony Carpio was there, not the Chief Justice.
Si Justice Carpio was there. Tsaka si Justice... sorry. Ardilesa.
Yes.
Kasi inabutan pa niya yan when he was Solicitor
Correct,
General.
Solgen. So, on the part of the executive branch naman, si ES Jojo Ochoa. So, maganda yung ang dating ng perception ng Philippines that this is a whole of government approach. And you know, nanalo tayo. But you might want to discuss the ruling.
Hindi. Essentially, the ruling upheld yung existing rule under international law na ang nagdedetermine ng control over oceans is really land.
Right.
And yung mga land masses na ino-occupy ng China within yung then disputed territory na yan, were not big enough. Di ba? Kasi ang standard dyan, kailangan capable of supporting human habitation para mag-generate siya ng kanyang sariling EEZ.
Okay.
Pero dahil hindi, they were just rocks.
Okay.
Ang ano doon, they do not create an EEZ essentially. Okay. They can only create a territorial sea, di ba? Yung 12 nautical miles at best.
Okay.
So ang sinasabi nga noon, so klaro, itong area na to is within the Philippine EEZ. That was settled beyond any doubt doon sa naging desisyon. So And, it was lauded by the international community. Kasi ito yung consistent with international practice eh. So, China, of course, expectedly, tumutol. Pero, mga ibang bansa, mga allies natin dito, within the region, supported yung finding of the arbitral tribunal.
Naalala ko yung isang statement, isang speech ni Pinoy sa SONA na gawa ng ating kaibigan speechwriter na si Kael. Sabi niya, meron kasi isang island doon, Recto Bank. A very, very memorable line that
Naalala
was
ko
said.
yan.
Ang sabi ni Pinoy sa SONA, pag tumapak ka sa Recto Bank, para ka na rin tumapak sa Recto Avenue
Sa Maynila.
sa Maynila. So, ang galing ng pagkasulat nun. Talagang ang tibay ng buo ng ating gobyerno, especially the President, si Pinoy, na talagang ipaglaban ito.
Ang malungkot nga dito, lumabas kasi yung decision sa arbitral tribunal 2016 na.
Yes.
Pasimula na ng term ni dating Pangulong Duterte. Mas sinelebrate pa ng mga ibang bansa yung
Oo nga.
panalo natin eh. Kasi halos almost immediately after lumabas yung ruling, hindi masyadong inassert ng Pilipinas, and yung Duterte administration nag-opt for an approach that de-emphasized yung ruling and actually tried to pursue supposedly negotiation with China. Pero ang nangyari din naman, wala. Yung mga lalong lumala yung encroachment at yung mga
Mas aggressive.
dumami yung mga structures.
I remember one statement na sinabi si Pangulong Duterte na talagang was very, very discouraging. Sabi niya, that decision is just a piece of paper.
Yun nga.
Di ba? Parang minaliit niya yung importance ng decision na yun eh. That's why, tama ka, nung panahon ni Pangulong Duterte, wala tayong masyadong naririnig na gulo kasi they're just taking over all those